Mauricio Macri. Un día como hoy hubo obras. Un día como hoy la gente era feliz. Un día como hoy Mauricio Macri.
Hola gente, ¿cómo les va? Bienvenidos a una nueva edición de Un día como hoy, Mauricio Macri. Hoy vamos a hablar de lo que sucedió un 25 de enero y tenemos muchos un día como hoy, son como 7, 8 por lo menos, de videos institucionales, videos de obras, videos del Ministerio de Transporte, tenemos un montón hoy para ofrecerles. Así que arrancamos con esto que sucedió un 25 de enero de 2016. El gobierno nacional difundió un video de la Casa Rosada diciendo: queremos invitarte a que conozcas los rincones de la Casa de Gobierno. Que bueno, lo invitamos a ver. Un 25 de enero de 2016, el Ministerio de Defensa brindó asistencia a los damnificados por los aludes que azotaban Mendoza. Se dispuso el despliegue del Ejército y la Fuerza Aérea para realizar tareas de apoyo logístico. El ministro de Defensa, Julio Martínez, dispuso el despliegue de estas fuerzas para brindar colaboración ante los aludes que afectaron a esta zona mendocina. Un 25 de enero de 2017, el presidente Mauricio Macri recorrió obras de infraestructura y obras viales que se estaban realizando en Quilmes. El presidente recorrió las obras que se desarrollan en la localidad de Quilmes en el marco del plan de infraestructura que puso en marcha para mejorar y poner en valor los principales corredores viales del transporte público de pasajeros en el conurbano bonaerense. Lo hizo acompañado por la gobernadora en ese entonces, María Eugenia Vidal, el ministro de Transporte, Guillermo Dietrich, y el intendente de Quilmes, Martiniano Molina.
El presidente Mauricio Macri recorrió las obras que se desarrollan en la localidad de Quilmes en el marco del plan de infraestructura que puso en marcha el gobierno para mejorar y poner en valor los principales corredores viales del transporte público de pasajeros en el conurbano bonaerense. Acompañado por la gobernadora de Buenos Aires, María Eugenia Vidal, el ministro de Transporte, Guillermo Dietrich, y el intendente de Quilmes, Martiniano Molina, el presidente observó la marcha de los trabajos de ensanche del Camino General Belgrano que se están realizando en ese municipio del sur. Las obras para el mejoramiento de los corredores viales del conurbano beneficiarán a los municipios de Campana, San Martín, Malvinas Argentinas, San Miguel, Pilar, José Cepaz, 3 de Febrero, Morón, General Rodríguez, Merlo, La Matanza, Lomas de Zamora, Ezeiza y Quilmes. Las intervenciones previstas en la primera etapa del programa comprenden una extensión de 45,5 kilómetros. Los alcances de estos programas se ampliarán luego con obras de pavimentación de 146 kilómetros de calles de tierra o que se encuentran en muy mal estado en un total de 15 municipios. Se estima que las obras mejorarán las condiciones de circulación del transporte y reducirán los tiempos de viaje de más de 80 líneas de colectivos, al tiempo que generarán 1.800 puestos de trabajo de mano de obra intensiva.
También un 25 de enero de 2017, el presidente Macri visitaba la provincia de Mendoza y dijo: estoy seguro que cada día vamos a estar un poco mejor. Así lo afirmó al encabezar en Mendoza el acto por los 200 años del Cruce de los Andes y la gesta libertadora de Chile y Perú. Vemos el video.
Señora vicepresidenta de la República, señor gobernador de Mendoza, señor gobernador de San Juan, señor intendente de Las Heras, autoridades nacionales, provinciales, del hermano país de Chile, Fuerzas Armadas, amigos de Las Heras, argentinos, buenas tardes. Así me gusta, buenas tardes. Es una enorme alegría y un honor estar hoy acá en esta tierra con tanta historia y con tanto futuro, conmemorando 200 años de ese momento donde cambió el destino de la Argentina, de Chile y de Perú. Hace algunos meses, con mucha emoción, festejamos el bicentenario de la independencia de nuestro país. Y hoy estamos acá para festejar 200 años del momento en que se movilizaron mendocinos, riojanos, sanjuaninos y de varias provincias más en una hazaña que liberó medio continente. Y cuando uno mira y observa, concluye que el principal legado que nos dejó esa hazaña es la libertad. ¿Y qué significa ser libre? Significa que podemos ser protagonistas de nuestras vidas, de nuestro futuro, que podemos elegir, que podemos construir la mejor versión de cada uno de nosotros. Y ese es el mayor sueño que tengo como presidente. Ayudar a todos los argentinos, a todos los que habitan esta maravillosa tierra, desde La Quiaca hasta Ushuaia, desde la cordillera hasta el mar, a que puedan elegir en el camino de la búsqueda de la felicidad. Y hay otra enseñanza que también citaba el gobernador Cornejo. La segunda enseñanza es que si queremos que un proyecto tenga éxito, hay que trabajar en equipo. Por eso, el general San Martín, un hombre único, con cualidades, con valores, un hombre extraordinario, desde su inteligencia superior entendió que para que esta hazaña tuviese éxito necesitaba de mucha gente y se abocó a convencer, a entusiasmar, a generar la confianza en muchos de que la libertad era posible, de que ese sueño de libertad era posible. Y hoy, en el siglo XXI, los argentinos volvemos a tener un sueño. Estamos convencidos que una Argentina desarrollada, sin exclusión, con oportunidades de progreso para todos, es posible. Y es posible porque entendimos que esto va a suceder si estamos juntos, si trabajamos en equipo, si cada uno hace su aporte, si cada uno busca qué es lo mejor que tiene para dar. Y eso es lo que está pasando en el país. Llevo un año y un poquito de presidente y he tenido la suerte de viajar mucho alrededor del país y encontrarme con muchos argentinos, como don Cruceño, gobernador Alfredo, lo conocí acá en Pedriel. Es un viejo, pero joven a la vez, líder barrial, que a partir del deporte ha pasado más de 50 años educando con los buenos valores a nuestros jóvenes. Y no saben el respeto y el amor que tiene de su comunidad y el amor que él les da a su comunidad. O como Gloria e Irene, Sergio, que las conocí en San Juan, que cuando tenían 15 y 19 años abrieron un pequeño emprendimiento en su garage para fabricar alpargatas. Y hoy, unos años después, ya tienen 15 mujeres trabajando con ellas. ¿Y qué es lo que lograron creyendo en sus capacidades? Ser protagonistas de sus propias vidas. Y tendría muchos ejemplos más, pero quiero darles uno más. El de David, un jujeño, que hace pocos meses, inaugurando un tramo de la autovía de la Ruta 5 en la provincia de Buenos Aires, se me acercó y me dijo: Presi, esta es la tercera obra que inauguramos juntos. Yo le pregunté: David, ¿cuáles otras? Y me dijo: yo trabajé en el Metrobús de la 9 de julio y trabajé en un bajo nivel de la avenida Federico Lacroze. Y me encantaría poderles mostrar hoy la mirada, la sonrisa, el orgullo que tenía David de sentir que él había hecho su aporte. que él había sido protagonista de cosas buenas para otros argentinos. Claramente ese es el camino. Y una tercera enseñanza que nos deja el general y esta hazaña es que la Argentina, sin lugar a dudas, tiene un rol regional y un rol mundial, porque está en nuestro ADN, nuestra responsabilidad de liderar, de conducir y hacer un aporte más allá de nuestras fronteras. En esta etapa de desafío que hemos asumido, de cambios, donde queremos ser parte del siglo XXI con sus innovaciones, también queremos ser parte de las soluciones a los problemas globales, de hacer nuestro aporte a la seguridad alimentaria, a la generación de energías renovables, al combate del narcotráfico, del terrorismo, del cambio climático. La Argentina tiene mucho para aportar. Los argentinos tenemos mucho para aportar. Yo les hablé de los sueños, de lo que estamos viviendo, de lo que estamos sintiendo, de que sentimos que tenemos una agenda que nos desafía, dura, pero la esperanza muy alta, porque a partir de poner la verdad como una forma de vincularnos, hemos comenzado el trabajo en el sendero correcto. Y acá el intendente me decía que cuando se conmemoren los 300 años van a poner un toldo. Bueno, yo voy a estar entre el público, ahí no sé ustedes, yo voy a estar a los 300 acá también. Y espero y quiero imaginar qué va a decir el presidente en ese momento. Yo espero que el presidente diga, hace 300 años, un general que se animó a pensar que por más que esas montañas se intimidaban, se podía cruzarlas y liberar pueblos hermanos y así asegurar nuestra propia independencia. Pero que también diga que hace 100 años atrás la Argentina emprendió una etapa de cambio que nos llevó a una etapa de crecimiento que nunca más se detuvo porque fue basado en los valores centrales y fundamentales para nuestro pueblo, que es el respeto por el otro, el trabajo en equipo, decirnos la verdad, que generó una gigantesca confianza que potenció y aceleró este proceso de crecimiento y puso a la Argentina en ese lugar de liderazgo que nos corresponde y que nos llama en la historia de América Latina. Así que gracias a todos por este momento. Estoy seguro que este viaje que van a emprender va a ser un éxito, como es todos los años, y que espero que nos sirva de inspiración para esta nueva etapa que hemos comenzado en la Argentina y que siento que cada día, sin lugar a dudas, vamos a estar un poco mejor. Para todos y con todos, ¡viva la patria!
También un 25 de enero, pero de 2018, el presidente Macri expuso en el Foro Internacional de Davos. Dijo: Hoy ningún otro país tiene tanta potencialidad como la Argentina. Estamos listos para hacer la contribución a la seguridad alimentaria mundial, remarcó el jefe de Estado en el evento que se realizó en el Congresscentrum de esa localidad suiza.
Dear President Macri, it is my great pleasure to welcome you back to Davos. When you last joined us here in 2016, it was shortly after your inauguration as President of Argentina. Over the past 2 years, you have worked really hard. You have successfully initiated key political and economic transformations in your country, generating new jobs and boosting entrepreneurship. These future-oriented reforms, combined with your resilient leadership, have supported Argentina to strengthen its global positioning. This year, Mr. President, you also join us in an additional capacity as the chair of G20 presidency. In this role, you have stated that you will lead the G20 based on the principle of putting people first. Given your commitment to multilateralism, your leadership will be critical in helping to achieve more inclusive growth and intergenerational progress. It is imperative that leaders prioritize policies for ensuring a more sustainable planet and productive workforce. President Macri, we look forward to hearing your perspectives on the current state of the world and on your vision for Argentina and the G20. You can count on our full support as you continue your important work in the coming years. Mr. President.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Borge, for the introduction. With such a good presentation, I should hire you as my next chief of campaign. But as you mentioned, only 2 years ago here in Davos, only 1 month after taking office, I shared with many of you my vision for Argentina as a reliable partner for business and as an honest broker of global politics. Today I'm here to reinforce that vision. This year's theme at Davos is creating a shared future in a fractured world. Fracture. Argentina has long suffered the consequences of that fracture because for decades we have been isolated from the world. But Argentina entered a new phase. We are now in the position to play a significant role on the international stage. In the last 2 years, we put in order our economy and the country back on track, as you recognize, Jorge. Argentina is in a sustainable and steady path of inclusive growth. Every day, we make decisions that drive us towards our primary goal of reducing poverty. The economy grew 4.2% in the third quarter last year, and is gaining momentum. Inflation fell to its lowest figure in a decade. Wages and income recovered, and social security nets expanded. Poverty and employment rates were reduced throughout the year. We look towards the future with optimism. This already is our longest period of growth since 2011. Investment is booming with double-digit growth. Today, no other country has more potential than Argentina. We are rich in natural resources, and we have something even more important than that, our people's talent and entrepreneurship. We have awarded 147 renewable energy projects, such as Parque Solar Nogasta in La Rioja, in the north of Argentina. Once the project is up and running, it will generate enough energy to substitute imports to equal to 185,000 barrels of oil a year. We have also projects like Caucharí in the province of Jujuy that you should visit. It's a very beautiful place. And that will be the largest in Latin America. I mention these two projects only to show the huge potential that Argentina has in renewable energy. Our country also has enormous potential to obtain large hydrocarbon reserves from unconventional resources. I'm talking about Vaca Muerta, an extension of 35,000 square kilometers. It's the second largest reserve of unconventional gas in the world. We also have one of the largest reserves of lithium. Our pipeline of projects is getting bigger and bigger throughout the country. The opportunities in the mining sector are unique. In an area with the mining potential of more than 750,000 square kilometers, our country had only granted permits on little more than 1/3. Tourism is a massive opportunity, especially in the northern provinces I mentioned you before, where we are committed to promoting and increasing investments. During the last winter season, we had encouraging results with a historical number of visitors. And last year, we had 1 million more airplane passengers than in 2016. And thousands of Argentines have flown for the first time. Moreover, between January and September, we reached a record in terms of hotel occupancy, 15.5 million tourists. Another area of potential, as you all know, is food production. Argentina can become a fundamental provider. With exports over $25 billion, we are capable of producing food for more than 400 million people. Argentine food is present around the world and is an example of our country's reputation in terms of innovation and quality. We have outstanding sanitary and environmental standards and are ready to meet the needs of the most sophisticated consumers. That's thanks to our persistent effort in developing new technology. Argentina's human resources and innovating ecosystem have the potential of transforming the country into a global hub for knowledge-based services. I want to mention to you that 4 of Latin American 6 unicorns come from Argentina. We are building political consensus around an agenda based on permanent reform. Argentina is leaving its populist experiment behind, as we were talking before, Borgen. And avoiding an economic crisis, and within democratic institutions, something that had never happened before in the country. Last month, we began our presidency of the G20, in which we are very excited. 10 years have passed since the first Leaders' Summit in Washington, D.C. Today, unlike in 2008, global growth is stable, but it has not reached everyone, and this has undermined the confidence of many in globalization. This should be an everyday reminder that we have to do much more. The theme of our presidency is building consensus for fair and sustainable development. Argentina will bring a view from the south. We want to convey the voice not only of our country, but that of the whole South American region. We establish an agenda based in 3 key areas. First, the future of work. The G20 should help ensure that technological change will not increase exclusion or social disintegration. Education is at the center of this debate. The future will require substantial investment in training and updating skills. Second, infrastructure for development. It is crucial to mobilize private investment in order to close the global infrastructure gap. Third, a sustainable future in terms of food. As I mentioned before, Argentina is ready to make its contribution to global food security. Hosting the G20 is one of the biggest challenges in Argentina's history. We are committed to conveying the G20 with the same spirit of consensus that endorsed the ambitious agenda we are moving forward in Argentina. With the support of our partners, working together, we will strive to build a shared future of fair and sustainable development. Thank you, and now we can continue with some comments. De nada.
Muchas gracias, Mr. President. It is
all your Spanish. Muchas gracias.
you know, that's after the peace process in Colombia. I picked up a couple of words. It's great to have you back here, and we had a chance to chat a bit in the speaker's room, and we also were inspired by Churchill that once said, "The farther backward you can look, the farther forward we're likely to see." And the history of Argentina is very interesting. As the President mentioned to me, if you go back to 1910, the GDP of Argentina was almost equal with the one of the US.
Absolutely.
And if you go back to 1945, I think Argentina was one of the richest countries in the world. So what happened in between, and when will we see Argentina back in the top? And what are the reforms you have to deliver on top of what you already have done to achieve that?
Well, thank you, Jorge. Before, I want to thank everybody for attending the conference, for being so supportive with Argentina. And with the help of the world, with good partners, we really believe that we are going in the path to be, again, an important global player. And I'm convinced of that because I think that we have learned of our past experiences. No? As you mentioned before, Argentina was a very rich country and still has the potential to be and to give vast opportunities to all their citizens. And the difference between this moment and other moments in the recent history of Argentina is that the changes are coming bottom up. And the citizens have understood that if we continue to be isolated from the world, what we are going to do is deepen our poverty problems. So we need to be part of the world. We are trying to come back to the world with an intelligent approach and build reliable and trustworthy relationships in long-term basis. And at the same time, as you may know, my first commitment with my citizens is to reduce poverty. I asked to be evaluated as president during these years if I achieve or not to reduce poverty. And to reduce poverty, you need to create jobs and improve education, the two important keys that you have. And for that, you need to increase investments. And to increase investments, you have to be reliable, predictable, build rule of law, and that's the central part of our job in the last 2 years. No? And I think that we had improved a lot. We have gained back clear and truth-worthy statistics. Now you can know what is going on in Argentina. We are cutting inflation. That is the worst tax that a government can collect from the people. We are working to improve transparency. We are battling against corruption that produces an incredible inefficiency that destroys jobs. And I think that in this way, we are building a new environment, new regulatory frameworks to create new opportunities. And as I mentioned, my second theme, the second theme for the G20 in Buenos Aires is moving private sector to build infrastructure, no? to build and operate infrastructure. And for that, we have approved a very modern PPP law, and we are launching billions of dollars in new tenders, highways, energy, ports, airports, waterworks. And fortunately, the first tender has been very successful. Many companies from all around the world are attending the tenders, and we expect that many others will come, because I think that PPP tool is wonderful in terms of speeding up the investments and creating more room for transparency, because you don't have to lead between the contractors and the government in monthly basis. You lead only once. They get the contract, they have to build whatever they are committed, and once they finish, they start collecting their money, so that it speeds up, gains transparency, and I think that this is fundamental to develop. Every underdeveloped country needs connectivity, physical and virtual connectivity, so we're very focused on that, unfortunately with very good results, and I expect that this year will be another step forward, because we are talking about nearly $30 billion of future investments that we are demanding from Argentines and foreigners. No?
Mr. President, I think there is consensus in this room that the rule of law is a prerequisite also for foreign direct investments and doing business in countries. Predictability. This was a challenge in the previous years. International companies that had invested also saw that their assets were being challenged, to put it diplomatically. You also mentioned the fight against corruption. You have seen in your neighboring country, Brazil, that this has been a really very important agenda item during the last years, and the people end up in prison because of corruption, and we're seeing also that corruption numbers are falling dramatically. Are we seeing the same in Argentina? Is there a mind change when it comes to this?
Yes, fortunately the same is going on in Argentina. Since we are in government, the transparency, we have gained incredible improvement in transparency. We went from the place 50 something to we scaled like 20 in transparency, let's say, statistics, and I think that we have to keep working in that sense. No, for that obviously you have to work to improve the independency and the quality of your justice. We are working on that, and I think that fortunately this is something that we are really viewing as a Mercosur challenge, no? And I think that what Brazil did is wonderful in terms of future, even though during the process has ended up being a big crisis. But for the future of Brazil, what recently happened will be very good, as is very good for Argentina, no? That we are getting rid of bad habits that don't help to create jobs, don't help to reduce poverty. So I'm really very optimistic about what's going on. And let me tell you that it's something, all the reforms that we have moved forward, that we had approved, had been with the support of the opposition, because we are in minority in both chambers. That shows the strength of this new process in Argentina. And in a proof of that, in all my trips, I'm in my delegation is somebody from the opposition. Today is the governor of Entre Rios, a very important governor, very important state. And in all the trips, they are coming with me because they are also part of this moment of Argentina, no? Trying to bring new investments, to create new jobs, and in that way to create opportunities from our people.
That's not the case in all capitals these days, huh? But congratulations on that inclusiveness. Also, you mentioned Mercosur, Mr. President. Traditionally we have seen Mercosur as something, a kind of trade alliance that has also been about protection. We saw the Pacific Alliance being developed that had a different view on these issues. But it seems like Mercosur is now changing very fast too. There are discussions between Mercosur and the European Union. Argentina hosted the WTO ministerial meeting in December. So is it a real reformed Mercosur we're seeing? And you will see Mercosur now also establishing free trade agreements in a very offensive way all over the world. Just share shortly your view on that.
Well, till today, Mercosur had been the closest region in the world, no? With higher protections. And we had understood altogether that this didn't help to reduce poverty. So we are moving forward to strengthen Mercosur. And I think that the agreement between Mercosur and European Union is a huge opportunity for both. We are near. Next week we are having a meeting at Brussels, and any help will always be welcome.
Forum is neutral and impartial.
Yes.
It sounds like a good idea.
No, by the way, you have good friends, so you can talk with them. If you really believe that Mercosur is also a good opportunity for the European Union, especially after Brexit. And I think that it's a natural association because South America, we are all descendants from Europe. So it should be the first important agreement before others that we are negotiating. And we are close. We are very close. I'm visiting President Macron tomorrow, and I expect that he will give me good news because some mayors tell me that the problem is always the agriculture point, and that relates everybody to France. No? So I expect that we will find a solution to that because this can be a great opportunity for both. Mercosur, this will be a good guide to continue the path of reforms, a good association. And for the European Union, it's very difficult to find a better region in terms of food security, in terms of energy, especially renewables now that we are all pushing in that direction.
I think there are going to be a lot of youngish energy in that room when you meet with President Macron. You have strong farmers in Argentina and strong farmers also in France. So it would be interesting to be a fly on the wall there.
That guarantees I will have a very good dinner, no? Yeah.
That's never a challenge in Elisa, huh? Just two short questions before we wrap up before lunch, talking about food. You're talking also about Mercosur. Venezuela is, and at least was, a part of this. We are concerned about the development there. We also saw signs in your country at a certain time that reminded us a little bit about the very toxic climate you're seeing now in Venezuela. Do you see any possibility to break the current impasse in Caracas?
No, I'm not optimistic. I have been claiming for open and clear elections in the last years. I'm claiming from all the abuse that has been done by Maduro. In Venezuela, they don't respect human rights. That's not a democracy. Unfortunately, the citizens of Venezuela are suffering a lot. We are under a sanitary crisis. But unfortunately, what we see is that things are going worse and worse.
Last question, as I mentioned also in the introduction, you have the presidency of G20 this year, and you have high aspirations. What do you think, if we are privileged enough to have you in Davos also next year, what would you hope that you have achieved in your G20 presidency when you're going to sum it up?
I think that this is a very special moment in human's history, no? The technological revolution that we are going through brings up the fear. I expect that the first thing is to reduce fear. Fear drives us in the bad direction, makes us to pay attention to messianic speeches that will not solve the problems. And I think that G20 have proved to be a place in which a group of countries try to cooperate each other to increase inclusive growth. No? So I think that we have to work hard in education. We need to convince the unions to be part of the changes and not to be always against the changes, because we need to train our kids for jobs that today don't even exist. So that's a huge challenge, and we need to work together, And we need to understand that happened to the doctors for many years before, that they have to keep studying every night, no? That happens in every sector. Now we have to be ready to keep developing skills during our whole life. No? This is the new world. No? But this new world will surprise us with new opportunities. So for that, obviously, again, we need infrastructure, physical and virtual infrastructure, so everybody will have the same tools and work together. And the other issue that I want to raise is that for food security, we need to produce more food. And that means that we have a big challenge. The G20 countries accomplish more over 60% of land, agricultural land, and 80% of the trade in food and agriculture. 60 and 80. So we have the challenge to bring to the place a responsible land management techniques that will put in value and with responsibility the soil as a strategic resource to sustainable development and produce and food production. No? And we have to bring up that, because there is now starting a big debate in which we have to fulfill both things: battle against climate change, but produce more food.
Thank you. I'm positive that you will deliver a great G20 presidency, and also all the best for the future reforms of your great country.
I'm sure that it will be. I expect that you will all visit Argentina. In the way to Argentina, you can pass by the House of Argentina and taste some incredible, delicious sweet bread and empanadas and wines that will show you some of so many incredible things that we can do in Argentina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is no such thing as a free lunch.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, in the room and online, to this press conference at the 48th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum. We are honored and delighted to welcome back Mr. Mauricio Macri, President of Argentina. In your special address, you stated that Argentina is ready to take its place in the world as a world player, and your commitment to reducing poverty in Argentina. President Macri, please share with us your vision for Argentina and your presidency of the G20.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending this press conference. Let me share with you my very optimistic view for the future. I really believe that Argentina is a country with a high potential. I'm sure that it must be nowadays the country with the biggest potential around the world, because we have incredible natural resources, but more important than that, we have amazing human resources, talent and entrepreneurship. And after many, many years of isolation, we are going back to the world with an intelligent approach to long-term relationships. Fortunately, we have an incredible reception from the world. We are building good relations with nearly every country around the world. And from that, I expect that we will build new initiatives, added value products, and that will create jobs that will reduce the poverty in my country. That is my first commitment, as you mentioned. And we are proud, and maybe what is one of the biggest challenges in our history. We are proud to lead the G20 this year, and we expect that during the whole year we will keep working together and trying to find ways to have a steady, firm, and better inclusive growth in the whole world, because even though the world is growing, there are still many places in which they don't feel the results. So that means that we have to keep working, no? And I think that the best way is to debate and to find tools in which will help everybody. I think the three themes that we have elected, the work of the future, or the future of work, education, and food security, are three opportunities to develop new projects and new ways to create growth. No, so at the same time, we will have in the meeting a gender across approach during the whole G20, and we also expect to work around more deeply around also health subjects that also were raised in Berlin. But more or less that's a summary, and maybe we can start with the questions.
Yes. So the microphone will come around. Please state your name and the media outlet you're from. The woman on front.
Hi, Mr. President. This is Angela from ChinaCenter.com. It's a Chinese website. My question is, from this annual meeting, we can say some countries are pro-globalization, but some are not. I want to know your viewpoint regarding to globalization, and will you meet President Trump during this annual meeting, and what kind of trade relationships you are expecting from USA and China? Thank you.
Well, it's a long question. we may stay the whole day answering your question. But well, briefly, first, I really appreciate the relationship with China. China is very present in Argentina, as in the whole South America. We are working together in many sectors. Food security is one of them. Energy, they had been very aggressive in investing in Argentina. Nuclear, we are planning to build nuclear plants, hydroelectric plants. They had participated in the 4 renewable energy tenders, and they are investing in also in tourism. With the States, I have a very good relationship a long relationship with Donald Trump, and he had been very helpful in improving our relations, and we expect to continue working together, even though maybe we may not share the short-term view in terms of multilateralism vis-a-vis bilateralism. And I expect that we will all be part of this G20 meeting, and we'll continue debating and finding, again, I insist, tools that will benefit our citizens. No, I don't know if something else that I left or not. It's okay. Globalization. But globalization is a reality. We can't stop it. Our kids were born under a globalization basis. No, they chat around the whole world. They travel through internet, knowing what happens in the whole world. E-commerce is boosting globalization. So I think that it's something that we have to adapt to. And our obligation as leaders is trying to find tools that work as buffers, so citizens can adapt to all these changes in a better way. That's our main task. Okay.
Gentleman in the front.
Good morning, Jorge Valero from the Spanish daily El Economista. I have two quick questions. The first one, Argentina experienced itself the weaknesses of multilateralism. You hosted the last round of the WTO and there was not a lot of success there. Are you concerned about the results that you could get during the G20 presidency? And a second question on Mercosur, the bone of contention is the beef quotas. Do you see some room for compromise in the near future, and what will be that compromise?
Let's start by maybe the short term, the most important thing. I think that is crucial for Mercosur, and I really believe that also for the European Union, find an agreement between Mercosur and the European Union. I think that we are quite close to sign the political agreement. That will take us to negotiate a legal agreement that will take another maybe 18 months, and then a 10-year period in which we are going to start opening the different sectors of our economies. So it's a lot of time in terms of what is going on the world, and I expect that we all have the courage of going forward, no? and the attitude to solve the small problems that were still there. And I expect that in my meeting tomorrow with Macron, we will find solution for a couple of issues that are still there, because I really believe that it's a huge opportunity for both. WTO, everybody congratulate me for the organization, for the good beef and the good wine and the beautiful city. Unfortunately, we couldn't go much further in the meeting, but we have to keep working. No? There's no other way, as I mentioned before.
So we're going to take one more question in the back, and then we'll move to the other side of the room. The very back.
Thank you, President. I'm Daniel Rittner from Brazil's Valor Econômico. What's your expectation regarding...
Tudo bem.
Tudo bem.
Tudo jóia.
What's your expectation for Argentina's entry in the OECD? And secondly, in your dinner with Mr. Macron, are you going to talk about the payment of that with Suez Engie?
Yes, we already agreed to pay that old debt with the Suez. And related to OECD, we are very optimistic, and we really believe that is a great tool for us to confirm the path that we had taken 2 years ago and continue the reforms. As I told, as I had said in my speech some minutes ago, we are building consensus in Argentina around an agenda of permanent reforms. No? We really believe in that, and not only for a country like Argentina that fall backwards, for everybody. This incredible technological breakthrough that we are going through demands that we have to be open, and we have to understand we need to be under permanent reforms. This is the times that we are living.
So the lady in the front. The lady.
Thank you. President Vivian Rodriguez with Bloomberg News. This is a question about a domestic issue in Argentina regarding the central bank. A lot of analysts and investors feel that Sturzenegger is a bit pressured to cut interest rates faster than expected so that he could promote faster growth in Argentina. Therefore, there's a chance he would just resign and leave the central bank. What do you have to say about that?
Que en Argentina estamos todos bajo una enorme presión, porque queremos crecer más rápido, queremos reducir la pobreza más rápido, y el Banco Central, con absoluta independencia, dadas las metas del Poder Ejecutivo, tiene que lograr que se cumplan, pero con absoluta independencia. Así que ellos manejarán la política monetaria según, como él lo ha dicho, ¿no? Hace pocos días, según vea que la inflación baja o no baja, adaptará la política monetaria, porque también es una prioridad bajar la inflación, porque está ligado a bajar la pobreza y a crear trabajo y buen trabajo y ganar productividad.
Gentleman right here.
Presidente Ezequiel Burgo from Clarín newspaper. I will switch to English for everybody understands. I want to ask you which is the balance of this visit to Davos, and if you got what you expected in this visit.
We are very happy. I'm talking in representation of the whole delegation. What I've seen is optimism, enthusiasm. Here there are the ministers that are in the delegation, but also all the business community that came are enthusiastic with new partnerships, new players, especially ready to be part of all these PPP tenders that we are launching. I'm talking about highways, roads, ports, water works, energy, and I had like I don't know anymore how many, because we're one after the other, but more than 15 meetings, and all very important companies, everybody announcing that they are going to disembark in Argentina, they are going to start operations in Argentina. So we are in the process of receiving new investments. Investments always take some time to take decision, then to implement them, but things are working. I'm really very happy of the results, and I continue to see a huge support from the whole world to Argentina. Whole world is surprised of the results that we had achieved in such a short period, and we should continue working in this direction. It's the right direction. Well,
one more question from the back, the gentleman in the back.
You said that 1 hour ago, more or less, ¿no?
Gracias. Carlos Mota, de ADN 40 en la Ciudad de México. Le pregunto, presidente, ¿qué expectativa tiene de su visita a México tras la invitación que le hizo el presidente Peña Nieto, y específicamente en materia comercial, qué tipo de integración buscaría tener la Argentina con México?
Tengo muchas ganas de visitar México, es un país muy querido. Los argentinos lo visitamos permanentemente, muchos argentinos viven en México, muchos argentinos van a las playas maravillosas que tienen los mexicanos, muchos jugadores de fútbol argentinos juegan en México, y lo que tenemos es poco comercio, países tan cercanos, ¿no? Con tantos lazos de amistad, que tengamos tan poco comercio. Así que espero ir y tener resultados concretos en abrir el comercio, sobre todo el agroindustrial, el de la industria automotriz. Creo que son dos campos donde podemos generar mucho intercambio. Así que ojalá lo logremos, y con el presidente Peña Nieto tengo una gran relación. Así que, y él va a venir como última tarea casi de su gobierno al G20 en Buenos Aires. No se quería perder comer un buen bife en Buenos Aires. Bueno, muchas gracias a todos.
Thank you very much.
Shaping the future of energy. Oh yes. Shaping the future of energy. That's the vision of my company.
The governor of Ríos.
Back in Davos.
Yeah, very crowded.
Yeah.
Great pleasure to see you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, it's a great pleasure to have you back. You are part of the Davos family, and
thank you.
Very good to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And congratulations to you too. That you will lead the G20 based on the principle of putting people first.
Such a good presentation. I should hire you as my next chief of campaign. But as you mentioned, only 2 years ago here in Davos, only 1 month after taking office, I share with many of you my vision
for Argentina as a reliable partner for business and as an honest broker of global politics. Argentina is in a sustainable and steady path of inclusive growth. We are rich in natural resources, and we have something even more important than that, our people's talent and entrepreneurship. I want to thank everybody for attending the conference, for being so supportive with Argentina. We really believe that we are going in the path to be again an important global player. How are you? You have been with my wife, no? Not yet.
We wanted to, yes.
Sorry.
My whole team, every single one of them, it wasn't just me, my entire team.
Yeah, that's the fault of you and your whole team. Because when you talk about America, you think that Americans only.
We are honored and delighted to welcome back Mr. Mauricio Macri, President of Argentina.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending this press conference. We have an incredible reception from the world. We are building good relations with nearly every country around the world.
Un 25 de enero de 2018, Guillermo Dietrich, a cargo del Ministerio de Transporte, publicaba una serie de videos. El primero de ellos era sobre las obras del viaducto Mitre, estación Belgrano C. Lo vemos a continuación. También un 25 de enero de 2018, la misma cartera del Ministerio de Transporte publicaba una serie de videos donde comentaba los beneficios que recibían los pasajeros al usar varias veces la SUBE. Si haces 2 viajes o más en 2 horas pagas menos, que hablaba sobre la combinación del transporte para el ahorro y beneficio de los pasajeros. Fueron una serie de videos que vemos a continuación.
Si haces 2 o más viajes en 2 horas, pagas menos. Red Sube, para los que viajan más.
Me tomo para ir todos los días a la facultad el tren Mitre y después me tomo el 33.
Me tomo el tren 92 hasta Merlo, hago la combinación con el tren Sarmiento hasta 11 y de 11 el 188 hasta el Hospital Gutiérrez.
Si haces 2 o más viajes en 2 horas, pagas menos. Red Sube, para los que viajan más.
Suelo tomar el 96 hasta Estación Independencia, luego acá tomo el tren hasta Villa Lugano y luego el 80 hasta Mataderos.
Yo me tomo el colectivo 621 en el Mercado Central, del Lugano me tomo el tren hasta el kilómetro 29 y del kilómetro 29 me tomo el 620 hasta Catán o hasta el 30.
Si haces 2 o más viajes en 2 horas, pagas menos. Red Sube, para los que viajan más.
Para volver me tomo el 26 que va por Metrobús hasta Retiro y por último me vuelvo a tomar el tren para volver a mi casa, que es la línea Mitre. Tomo el colectivo en Pontevedra a Morón, de Morón tomo el tren, tomo la combinación acá en la H y hago combinación con el CTD y de ahí tomo el 71. Tomo el colectivo 552 para ir a Banfield, de Banfield el tren hasta Constitución y de Constitución otro colectivo para llegar hasta el centro.
Me tomo el 148 letra I hasta Constitución, de Constitución me tomo el subte C hasta Retiro y de Retiro me tomo línea Mitre hasta Saavedra.
Mi nombre es Daniel, me tomo el colectivo 236 hasta Castelar, de Castelar me tomo el tren hasta 11 y de 11 hago combinación con el H, después combino con el D para llegar a mi trabajo y de vuelta todos los días.
Soy Nadia, usualmente me tomo el colectivo 552 de Lomas
para llegar a Banfield. De Banfield tomo el tren hasta Constitución y de Constitución otro colectivo para llegar al centro.
Soy Jorge, vengo de Punta Lara, tomando el colectivo 275 hasta la estación de trenes de La Plata, donde tomo en línea Roca hasta Constitución. De Constitución tomo el subte, línea C, con combinación de la línea A para llegar a Las Flores.
Mi nombre es Angélica, soy habitué de ir a ver a un familiar, y entonces hago la combinación línea H desde la estación Caseros hasta Corrientes. Corrientes, combinación con la línea B hasta Chacarita. De Chacarita tomo el tren, el Urquiza, hasta William Morris. Y de William Morris tomo el 390 hasta Ituzaingó.
Así que bueno, gente, espero que les haya gustado. Un día como hoy hubo muchas obras, muchos anuncios, muchas visitas presidenciales. Entonces, espero que les haya gustado y los esperamos mañana con un día como hoy, Mauricio Macri, del 26 de enero. Chao, hasta mañana.
Un día como hoy, Mauricio Macri. Un día como hoy, hubo obras. Un día como hoy, la gente era feliz. Un día como hoy, Mauricio Macri, Macri.
¡Vamos todos juntos! ¡Gracias! ¡Gracias de corazón!